That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
Good question.
Brandon,
we can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.
What is up? What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Like, comment, subscribe. Turn on the bell, post notifications. What's up? How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing well. If not, I'm sorry to hear that. Hope you do better soon. Oh, he already deleted it. Dang. I went to the original Antoine page to get his original uploadings, bro. His original uploads. This man already done deleted his page. But everybody done screen recording and posted now. I done missed the originals. I wanted to get the original because, you know, when people repost, they clip stuff and, you know, you miss things and everything like that. But it's a lot going on with this, bro. And it's someone that was like, I think Antoine, bro, I don't know if he's going to get caught today or turn himself in today or whatever the case might be. But yeah, let me see if it's on this page. Let me see. It's just one video with him. So okay. I see one video, and I guess, but I remember there were 3 videos that I particularly saw, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna save this for the stream. Boy, I messed up with that one. I should have just went live right then.
I'm one of the ones that was let out of GC. What I want to talk about today is as far as why I was in Orleans Parish jail. All type of stuff going on, and they covering it up. They don't care about nothing in the state of Louisiana. This is something that needs to go under a federal investigation. What's going on? How they having cases? Why Antoine Massey was in jail if the woman, the victim, the wrong woman, not a child, the wrong woman stated that he never raped her. He never beat her. He was nowhere in her presence. This is the affidavits on the date right here. This is the drop form from the district attorney office. This woman went did this. I didn't do this. Look, it's legally dated. So I'm asking, please, for help. Young boy, Meat Mills, people.
Oh man. Okay, all right.
LBL. You know what I'm saying? People that been through the system that know it's corrupt. Lil Wayne, Donald Trump. Please, I'm asking for help. You know what I'm saying? When I get back in custody, I'm asking y'all please to come and help. You feel what I'm saying? I'm asking the world. I'm letting y'all know I'm not a raper, man. I'm not none of that. None of that. I'm a good person. I am a father that want to be in my children's life. You know what I'm saying? I want to let the younger youth know that going down the route of trying to be a street person is not the route.
Wow. Okay. Wow. All right. That is okay. That is something. That was just one of the videos. So I'm going to try to see if I can find the other videos. I'm going to pull this up, this tab up as I'm searching for it. Wow. But I mean, like, he was calling the right people. Like Meat Mill, he does the whole the thing, you know, where it's got the you know, they fight for freedom and they get like a lot of wrongfully convicted people out of jail and things of that sort. Oh, here. Okay, I got one, y'all. 9 minutes. Cool.
I'm one of the ones that was let out of GC. What I want to talk about today is as far as why I was in Orleans Parish jail. I was in custody for almost 8 months. All right, 6 months, something like that. I was in there for theft of a motor vehicle and domestic abuse involving strangulation. That's what I was in Orleans Parish for. Okay, but before I was in Orleans Parish, I was in a jail called St. Tammany Detention Center. All right, St. Tammany Jail here in St. Tammany Parish. There's 2 different parishes, Orleans and St. Tammany. Okay, today what I want to talk about is that I was on 2nd-degree kidnapping, 2nd-degree rape, domestic abuse, battery involving strangulation, domestic abuse, battery, violation of protective order, right? On this woman right here, her name is Diamond White. That's her name. This is a district attorney drop form right here. And she's not a child. She's an adult, a full adult. I was dating this woman. This is a legalized affidavit saying all allegations against me is false. You remember, all allegations against me is false. I was nowhere around her or none of that during the timing of the date, which was November the 10th of 2024. Okay, so I was in Centennial, right, and I was on a regular domestic charge, right. So they put a parole hold on me because I was on a domestic charge. So that being said, is that once that occurred, and the charges was refused or whatever, they shipped me to Orleans Parish where I had more open charges, was the theft of a motor vehicle and the domestic abuse, battery, involving strangulation. So once I got in Orleans Parish jail, all right, I have from the district attorney's office, this woman who they say that I initially raped in another parish and in Orleans Parish, is the same woman here. It's not different females, it's the same grown woman, not a child, a grown woman. Okay, she did the same thing in Orleans Parish, right? Correct. I'm about to show you how the system is corrupted. Okay, she did this, right? Saying all allegations against me is false. And she even saying it, you know, she let her know the truth that I never did this to her. I never hit her. I was nowhere around her, nothing. She got mad and thought that I was dealing with another woman. That's why she did what she did to me. You know what I'm saying? Another thing too, once I got into Orleans Parish, I was there for like a month or something like that. Okay, a lot went on as that time progressed. Okay, if you was an innocent person and you know the judges and DA know that this person is saying that all the charges that you're on that you did not do, why was you still in jail? Louisiana have.
He said, so I'm going to take matters into my own hands. I know that's right. I do not advocate sneaking out of jail, escaping and things of that sort. This reminds me of, y'all remember like Saddam Hussein, bro, or like Bin Laden when they used to record them little videos and then send it to like the news organizations and they play it on the news.
The highest incarceration rate in the world for putting black people away. Yes, at the end of the day, in my younger life, I'm not gonna lie, I was causing problems. I was young. My daddy got killed when I was 7 years old. My mom had to raise 4 children by herself, so I had to find a way to try to help my mother. You feel what I'm saying? But as time went on, the person that I once was, I'm not that person today. That is not who I am. I have a 3-year-old son. I have an 18-year-old daughter that graduated yesterday, supposed to be. At the end of the day, that people don't understand that they see that I'm armed and dangerous. I have a heart. People that know me know that at the end of the day, I am a good person. So I'm asking for help from the world, from Meek Mills, Lil Wayne, Young Boy, Donald Trump. I'm asking for these people. I couldn't even get a lawyer. I couldn't even afford a lawyer to prove my innocence while I was in Orleans Parish jail. They said that I broke out. I didn't break out. I was let out. My name is Antoine Massey. The guy who said that I threatened him with a shank, the maintenance guy, how could I threaten you with a shank? If you can't come around me, you're a maintenance. You cannot come on the tills without a deputy being behind you. Because if they just let you on the till, you could be persuaded to bring drugs or anything like that nature. So how can I threaten you to jail you? And why you didn't notify the people, the police, that if I did threaten you, you never did that. Like, you flat out lied on me. Sterling flat out lied on me. And I want to let the media know that from the straight tattoos in my face and things of that nature, of course they're going to believe Sterling.
This man is doing a press conference, bro. He's doing a press conference. Hold on, let me get the he's doing a press conference, bro. That is insane. He's doing he's on the run, escaping jail, and he's doing a press conference. That's wild, bro. All right.
You know what I'm saying? I never told Sterling nothing. I'm willing to take a lie detector test and everything behind that. But that's another subject. Orleans Parish is one of the corruptedest jails. That in St. Tammany Parish is the corruptedest jails in the state of Louisiana. Why was I even incarcerated with a woman saying that this never happened? This is this woman's name. This is the charge, domestic abuse discrimination. This is about the shit in St. Tammany. Why would I, in Orleans Parish, why was I even in jail? That's what I'm trying to show y'all. That's why I left the jail. And they have a lot more brothers that's innocent, just like me, that's trying to prove they're innocent. That's why they ran. Jason Williams, the sheriff, Susan Hudson, these people are corrupted. These people was talking to St. Tammany and telling St. Tammany they gonna sentence me behind this, and telling St. Tammany if they can't give me, St. Tammany gonna get me. You see what I'm saying? Behind a woman that's a grown adult that never stated that I ever raped her. They have a detective that's over the case that's trying to pursue charges on me because of my prior history. Who I was in the past is not who I am today. So I'm asking for the media. I don't even have a lawyer to help me. I'm asking for help. That's why I ran. You feel me? I'm a grown man. I have kids. I have a mother. I have a baby mother, a child, my children mother. Like it's a lot going on. And that's why I ran. I need help. You feel what I'm saying? Orleans Parish and St. Tammany is one of the.
I ain't gonna lie though. It's crazy to say, like, because he never should have escaped everything like that. But this video is highlighting a lot of the issues within the current justice system and things of that sort, like the fact that he couldn't afford a lawyer, and you know what I'm saying, like he feels like he had a better case and he's just kind of thrown in for who he was as a troubled teen. And as his auntie said, this lines up exactly what his auntie said, was like, yeah, he was a troubled child growing up and stuff like that, but like his dad was shot and this was going on and this was like, so he had kind of no choice but to be a troubled child. And but you know, hey, ABC, this and that. The rest she said, I thought was kind of like, it was a bit weird, you know what I'm saying, because he ran from jail. At the end of the day, he ran from jail, you know what I mean? So it just is what it is. But yeah, that was going on and stuff like that. But I do think what he's saying is like, it's just like right message, wrong messenger, maybe, perhaps. If it is also like, would people ever hear this from him if he never ran? No, he never would have heard this, and it never would have got the attention if he hadn't been gone for over 2-3 weeks now. It feels like 3 weeks, but 2 weeks now of just being on the run. Like we never would have heard, because it wouldn't have been such a prominent story around the country and everything like that. So I don't know. It's like, I do think it's just crazy that this is 2025, where a man just went on the internet and broadcasted himself on an anonymous Instagram page. I don't know who fed the information that the page existed, but the video was uploaded yesterday. People started to find it today, and it spread like wildfire, and then the page was deleted. So I don't know who was involved in so-and-so. Whoever is tied to it, they're probably going to jail too. But yeah.
Best parish in the world. And I'm asking for help. It's a lot of corruption. It's chickens, all type of stuff going on, and they covering it up. They don't care about nothing in the state of Louisiana. This is something that needs to go under a federal investigation. What's going on? How they handling cases? Why Antoine Massey was in jail if the woman, the victim, the grown woman, not a child, the grown woman stated that he never raped her. He never beat her. She was nowhere in her presence. This is the affidavits on the date right here. This is the drop form from the district attorney office. This woman when did this. I didn't do this. Look, it's legally dated. So I'm asking, please, for help. Young boy, Meek Mills, people, LBL. You know what I'm saying? People that been through the system that know it's corrupt. Lil Wayne, Donald Trump. Please, I'm asking for help.
But also, what does this tell you about the, like, just for kids? Like I always talk about media and media perspective of like kids want to be what they see. This guy, the first names that he names are all rappers, and then you know he names Donald Trump. So it's just like literally media perspective, that's all you see. Like what you want to be is all you see. And if all you see is rappers, basketball players, entertainers, celebrities, like, and that's like what first comes to mind and things of that sort. I wonder what if Meek said anything about this.
You know what I'm saying? When I get back in custody, I'm asking y'all please to come and help. You feel what I'm saying? I'm asking the world I'm letting y'all know I'm not a raper, man. I'm not none of that. None of that. I'm a good person. I am a father that want to be in my children's life. You know what I'm saying? I want to let the younger youth know that going down the route of trying to be a street person is not the route. That's what type of person I am. Yes, I was lied on. They made certain lie on me. All the guys they picked me for him to lie on. I'm not saying Sterling a bad guy, but why did you pick me to lie on, bro? It's bigger than Sterling. I don't know why they picked me for him to lie on, but I never threatened Sterling ever. How could I threaten Sterling or hurt Sterling? He cannot come on a tip with me without a deputy being present. My name is Antoine Massey. I'm asking for help. I was one of the ones that was let out Orleans Parish Jail on May the 16th or May the 15th, 2025. So please, Meek Mills, Donald Trump, Lil Wayne, please help me. Lil Wayne, this is Big Antoine's son that's talking right now. I'm Lil Antoine. I was in your mama wedding when she married Rabbit. I was the ring boy, Lil Wayne. Please help me, bro.
All right. And you know the thing, his connection, his dad's connection to Lil Wayne's dad, like he said, if you guys didn't pick that up, it's been reported before. Shout out to NOLA.com. You can check it out if you support me, things of that sort, everything like that. But on NOLA.com, they confirmed that his dad was best friends with Lil Wayne's dad, and that's where the connection of Lil Wayne. That's why he kept saying Lil Wayne, Lil Wayne, Lil Wayne, things of that sort. The sheriff in New Orleans responded to this. Sheriff Susan Hudson. The Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office is aware of the video circulating online that appears to show Antoine Massey, one of the two individuals still at large following a recent escape from Orleans Justice Center. If the individual depicted in the video is indeed Antoine Massey, we strongly urge him to come forward and turn himself in to the proper authorities. Cooperating with law enforcement is in his best interest and may help avoid additional charges. It is important that justice is served appropriately and that the due process is followed. We continue to work closely with local, state, and federal partners to ensure both individuals are safely apprehended. Anyone with information should contact Crime Stoppers at 504-822-1111. You can remain anonymous. And then we got some other stuff too. I don't know if they're gonna put that out, but some other people was like, I could bring them home. And yeah, there's that. So unbelievable, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Unbelievable. Like the whole the fake prison outbreak and stuff like that, jail outbreak. Who's that from the comedian that I've let me see, what's his name? William Banks, right? Like that reacted to was like, of course it's fake, of course it's this and that, right? Then I look it up. I mean, I don't know. Then a few months later, like you see something like this, and this is real. This is real life. I don't know. It's the internet is crazy, bro. Internet is crazy. All right, next. Got a little cold. That's why I'm sniffling and stuff. The Clipse. Pusha T. No Malice, formerly known as Malice, in the building, man. Huh? Clipse talk love, hate, and what raps has been missing. After more than 15 years apart, the brothers Thornton, better known as Malice and Pusha T. I'm about to put on a hoodie, bro, because I'm not about to be sniffing the rest of this. Y'all give me a second, bro. I'm about to put on a hoodie. Ugh. Okay, more than 15 years apart, the brothers Thornton, better known as Malice, No Malice, and Pusha T, are back together with a new Pharrell Williams produced album that ranks with their most potent product ever. They're still ready to go on record about Kanye, Drake, and the state of the game. This is by Fraser Tharp and photographed by Eric Johnson. This story featured in the Must Read, a newsletter which our editors recommend a one can't miss story every weekday. Wow, so they do this every week because this one should go up the whole, at least my ecosystem of hip hop and black folk. Pusha T and No Malice are bored. It's gray, rainy, and much colder than it should be on a mid-May afternoon in Manhattan, and the brothers, known to the family as Terrence and Gene, and to the music industry as a formidable Virginia rap duo Clipse, are lounging in a Mercedes Sprinter, dodging raindrops, killing time. But that stormy mood extends in their overall opinion of the rap game at large right now. Oh man, you better write, Fraser. The particulars of the casual conversation we're having are off the record, but the overall sentiment is that they'll formally reiterate to me later. They are not impressed. I'm a passive listener to things that are going on right now, Pusha says. You got to grab me, man. Clipse. There we go. Mainstream rap music has been something of a dessert lately. I concede, and Pusha agrees, before impishly throwing a rhetorical question back to me. Why is that? He has no answer to share himself, maybe because for him and his older brother, the whys don't matter. At this particular moment, the lane is wide open for one of the game's most beloved groups to deliver a reunion 16 years in the making and raise the standard they've always done. But after years of dancing around the idea, loosely Clipse tracks here and there sprinkled across the past 5 years, a return performing at festival shows together, and a protracted album rollout that began in earnest on the runway of longtime collaborator Pharrell Williams' inaugural show as creative director of Louis Vuitton. It feels like we probably should have had the long-awaited fourth Clipse album about a year ago at this point. But this summer, No Malice and Pusha swear it's finally go time. Once you've delivered and once you've done your part, you got to see how things fall in place. No Malice says sagely. A lot of times they fall in place better than you could have planned. Now, with the release of the disgusting first official single and Ace Trumpets, the self proclaimed pioneers of Coke Rap are ready to roll out the white carpet. That's funny. Explain their delays and their recommitment to each other. And above all else, reaffirm that they are not to be doubted or effed with. Pusha and No Malice are eager to talk, but first and foremost, they're eager to eat. Dressing inadvertently in yin and yang outfits, Pusha was in an all black sweatsuit, and No Malice was in gray. They decamped from the Sprinter for an early dinner, only to experience what may or may not have been a racial microaggression from the hostess in Hillsong. Now we're cruising downtown aimlessly, looking for a top tier meal at an awkward time of 4:30 p.m. on a weekday. Pusha grows more dejected and annoyed by the block. He'd been looking forward to Hillsong spinach dip all day. Clocking that we're now approaching Houston, I throw out a Hail Mary. Emilio's Bellato. The Italian restaurant has been a Nolita staple for decades and has become trendy in the past few years. But more importantly, it's been a personal favorite of my family in particular since the late 1990s. Pusha is unfamiliar but curious, especially when the driver Mike decides to raise stakes, comparing it favorably to Carbone. Okay, now this better be good, Pusha declares. That's a tall order from a guy who spent the last 20 odd years disdainfully rapping about having better taste than you. His last album was artfully constructed, belittling, put down, so sneering rhymed that he think that you were talking about a swatch. A standoff offering among the new Clipse music features him rhyming Audi with a par, as in the only reason particular brand of a German injured auto is on his residential premises is because it's driven by his 4-year-old son's nanny. Oh man, meat and raisin. Wait. Okay. That's an index finger. I was about to say no malice, bro. Meat and raisin and exceeding the standard has been the Clipse's raison d'etre at least as far back as their sophomore album. Hell Nath No Fury, a Neptune scored Coke Rap Fantasia adored by white hipster critics, Soho cool kids, those who can relate to Push and No Malice, subject matter, and everyone in between. Two decades removed from that classic, the Thornton brothers acknowledge that legacy and past accomplishments are cool, but insist that they wouldn't have come back together if they were content with chasing old highs. The pursuit of greatness is never ending. If ever if every new thing you create doesn't reinforce your place in the conversation amongst the best to ever do it, then why bother? I feel like I had seen the engine give out on rap. No Malice says. Besides my brother and a couple of few others, I feel like it's been the same place as when I left. Pusha cites the Willie Griselda rapper Stove God Cooks, who appears on the album as a favorite, and agrees with his brother that Future is always on time, but asks if there's anything else exciting him, and he responds hysterically with an emphatic result: "No, we've never been given mediocre. I hear so much music; it's just like an assembly line, and it works. They sell it. People eat it up." No Malice says with a shrug. But it's an art, and I always find that's missing. And I feel like we can always give that. We always have delivered that. It's fascinating to hear Malice's thought on a rap game at large right now, because for the past decade and some change, he's been a passive observer. For a while there, the elder Thornton brother, who was on the list of rap's greatest self-exiles. Throughout the aughts, No Malice and Pusha put Virginia Beach on the map over upper echelon production from their fellow VA natives and the adolescents' friends turned super producers Pharrell Williams and Chad Hugo, aka the Neptunes. The raps, mostly about selling drugs, were vivid, intricate yet accessible. The flexes felt lived and yet very next level, delivered with such authority that you couldn't dare question their validity. But by the turn of the decade, No Malice opted to end off their family affair, at least on wax. The Thorntons maintained that in real life, their brotherhood continued unwaveringly. But musically, No Malice was burnt out, experienced a crisis of faith and purpose. You know the rest. Pusha soldiered on solo at the same time Kanye West's Good Music crew became ascendant, quickly becoming a key piece in that squad, all while sharpening his powers and aesthetics to produce some of the most finely crafted mainstream drug rap of the 2010s. While No Malice explored in religion, wrote books, and penned non-secular bars with the pointed adhesion to his stage name, No Malice. That is until 2019, the turn of another decade and another change of heart. During sessions at the Wyoming Ranch for much what it would become his Jesus is King album, Kanye asked Pusha for Malice's number. Pusha was in the early throes of this losement with which meant of Kanye's orbit, living through the foolishness as he describes, even though their union would sustain for another 2 or 3 years. More on that later. I don't want to bring him into the foolishness, Pusha recalls thinking. Malice affirms. He was like, you don't want to do this. Still, Malice gave his blessing and ended up coming out to Wyoming with his brother. I don't deal with foolishness at all, Malice said with a smirk, but I saw what he was talking about. As frustrating as the experience ultimately was, it served as a crucial spark for the reunion. It yielded the first official new Clipse track and used his gospel. Use his gospel for protection. It's a hard road to heaven. The angels we called down for the promise, the freedom, kingdom, the kingdom, the demons are trembling. Holy angel called us. I know you love that amazing rendition. But the sessions were even more fruitful than the fans realized. The brothers have revealed that they wrote to the Follow God beat before Kanye snatched it back for Jesus is King. Ironically, being so productive made Pusha more frustrated since the stuff they were creating together was still stuck under Kanye's umbrella. I felt like we were suddenly convinced that it could happen, Pusha said of the first reunion thoughts. There was so much going on within the whole Ye circle. If we decided that we were going to jump into it, then we should be jumping into it. It wasn't progressing like that. So I think, if anything, that was a stumble on just trying to make it happen, and everybody's just not going to be on the same time schedule. That was so bothersome to me. Still, more Lucy tracks here and there relayed the bird comes, including the stellar Malice guest verse that closed Pusha's recent solo album in 2022. I ain't miss no step, Malice says playfully but with conviction. When I ask about getting into the full swing of things after all those years, I don't do that. Dang. Kanye produced that song, but his and Pusha's relationship wouldn't hold much longer, which is too bad for rap fans who remember the Rosewood movement fondly. But on the other hand, there's something extra poetic about the three-way reunion that the Thornton brothers linking on the album entirely produced by Pharrell represents. And wake up the falling out between P and Chad Hugo, the Neptunes are no more. On the new music, Malice raps, ain't no more Neptunes, so P Saturn. Dang, that's crazy. If there's anyone who understands the power and not looking back and shedding legacy is Pharrell, who's lately taken off to auction off old jewelry of his Neptunes and NERD peaks that would most consider holy grails. More on that later too. Locking in with P is good because we revert back to very fanned out tunes of ourselves, times of ourselves. It ain't about to be, oh, that song or that beat was knocking, but the feeling, like, man, we got to make people feel like this. But how do we evoke that feeling? Or maybe it's the beat that is evoking a feeling that we haven't felt in a minute, or the raps or these flows. But it's always about really trying to dial into that emotion of the song. And I think that's the fun part about it because that's where we get to really feel and find that newness in rapping. The result you get is let God set him out. Longtime fans worried about the Thorntons recaptured the magic can rest easy. The project simultaneously stokes on old familiarity, starting with the title, which continues the religious theme set by Lord Willing and Hell Noth No Fury. And Malice points out, even their unofficial debut project from the days of Pusha still went by Terror. Exclusive audio footage started with a prayer, but in true Clipse fashion, the title cuts both ways, working on one hand as a declaration of faith and on the other hand of extreme declaration of aggression. After all, how's the full phase most commonly associated with that title goal? Kill them all. The Thorntons have their orders settled, shrimp with spicy marinara and linguine for Malice, fr Davivolo for Pusha, But before we even crack open the menu, the Emilios decor pictures of their owner with one name legends who have graced the tables like Denzel, Leo, Lenny, and Rihanna has set their weariness at ease. Weariness at ease. I've been alone at this for a long time, Pusha says, tearing into a basket of for Kusha bread. During that whole time, what you miss is that level of camaraderie and undying loyalty. Pusha's solo tenure was marked by high highs, at least one critically acclaimed classic album, and a whole lot of what he describes as industry games. So finally standing side by side with his older brother again has been a breath of fresh air. As far as No Malice is concerned, he's coming back not a moment too soon. In conversation, getting back into the non-creative swing of things like photo shoots and interviews, he has no sign of rust or discomfort. He listens with a sage of patience, replying to most questions with a twinkle in his eye that offsets Pusha's doggedness. He's well rested and eager to apply what he's learned about himself and about the way of the industry that he can wear artists down to this new era. It was awesome experience learning for me, removed and to look at everything that I've experienced, the good and the bad. God had to sit me down, and I spent some time reading his words. Malice says, stepping back, and you capitalizes here as his. Stepping back made it easier to see how his peers and those who came after him found themselves on wayward paths. I can identify the problems, and you see the turmoil and the issues of life. You see people going to jail. I'm talking about rappers, strung out on drugs, the feeling the need to talk back to their fans. You see the people's egos taking them left and taking them right. And you can just tell that they have never had to learn to just sit down. You can rise above about that internally if you are at peace with yourself. You don't have to address everything. So I learned a lot about myself in the downtime, and I'm definitely better for it. Man, this is crazy. And No Malice Soul Search, he cheered for Pusha from the sidelines. I absolutely miss being with my brother. I always kept up with him and watched how he was moving and saw how he has to deal with what's out there. I always kept up with him so I can know how to pray over him. But No Malice says he's never felt any guilt about doing what he needed to do or abandoning his brother to face challenges he couldn't handle. I was never surprised by his success. I always expected it, anticipated it. I knew who he was when we were together. So when he took off, it was just like that's how I always saw my brother. I knew he could do it. I knew. I never had a doubt. While the brothers admit that it took a minute before they fully felt that they were fully creating that level close to the standard fans expect. The shared desire to elevate or else kept them locked in from the start. We can't play on any level. You got to go through the trial and error of it all. You know what I'm saying? Pusha says, just respecting the sense of urgency. Think about it. We all have our lives. He needn't say more to explain what he was referencing. His first child, a toddler, Gene's own family, and Pharrell's family, and a day job running Louis Vuitton from the Paris headquarters, where a majority of the album was recorded, and a feat of multitasking. At the end of the day, he says the music has to sound as urgent as if we had nothing. It sounds like it can be good, but that's not it. Yeah, that's hard. And that don't make sense. And it's because we recognize the standard, and the standard that I feel people are holding us to. That means no resting on the laurels of reunion vibes, running back plays that worked before, listening to Hell Hath and for and the like for inspiration. Excuse me. No, Malice doesn't even want you to get them messed up, thinking the title is an attempt to stoke nostalgia. Well, you say it's like a comeback title, but we never wanted to present it like we're back. No, Malice explains. No matter the day and age, you just have to deliver. We do what we do. It's always quality. Everything is always fine tuned. We can never just give you haphazard. And I think that's what the fans recognize about us. They know that everything we do is chiseled and handcrafted. The let God sort him out is worth the wait. True to his word, no Malice hasn't missed a step. Pusher's right there with them. And the production, spare, synthy, and hard hitting is the most locked in Pharrell has sounded in years. And it wouldn't be truly a Clipse reunion without P hoarding his best beats for Terrence and Gene. But the idea that Pharrell crafting beats like rugged centerpiece, Mike Tyson, or mixing on Stove God, hook halfway down the hall of the Parisian designer sewing jackets provides an extra thrill. However long it took to get back in sync, LG SEO sounds like it could have came just years after '09's Till the Casket drops. And it's easily better than that album, which both bothers the long admirer as their weakest effort, the way that they have settled back into their complementary roles. Pusha is the snarling tactician. Malice is the wise and wary warrior. And still there's innovation. Pusha has long acknowledged the common critical assessment that Malice's verses usually have more emotional substance to them. I really dabbled with that criticism in my solo career a lot, Pusha admits. And eventually I gave up. I can only be who I am. And I used to try to be conscious of that people might be missing for what they got from the clips, and tried to make twists and turns through my verses. But it only works one way for you, man. The purest version of you is you. Yeah, that's it. And that's it. But listen, I heard those comments. I heard them. And every time I felt like, dang, they just missed Gene. But the new album charts interesting evolutions for both brothers. Excuse me. Listen closely, and you'll hear Pusha casually revealing the woes and tribulations within his own immediate family, and that he still longs to kiss Mama's neck. I miss it. The wrenching Birds Don't Sing, which sees each brother dedicating a verse to ones that recently departed parents, started with Pusha. They decided that it was that they had to start the album and and set a proper tone. That this project will not be exactly what you might expect to hear from the Clipse. Meanwhile, where the original run Clipse album showed No Malice becoming increasingly weary, time off to find himself sounding more renewed than ever and more happy to pop stuff as savagely as his brother. First of all, the time that I took off was necessary, No Malice says. I don't regret that at all, but I didn't want to squander my real estate and this little piece of what I have to offer, what I have to say in my contribution. I think this is just what it meant for me to sit down in that time that I had. But I think now it's the perfect time to just give up my contribution to hip hop, to give my contribution to hip hop. The other long-standing critical Clipse opinion that No Malice is simply the sharper of the two. Something Pusha has always been unbothered by, even once by saying, say my brother better? Big deal. Second fiddle to my own gene pool. We laugh about it. That's cool. I'm at the top and he better. If you think about it, we rule. You tell me, Pusha says with a laugh when asked who's rapping better on the new stuff, sharing that their friend Mike Camargo told him. He's sounding better than you on 80% of this. I mean, people are saying it, and I can't wait for everyone to hear it because I feel like they're really going to appreciate the actual duo of us, whether you're a new fan or old fan. No Malice is smirking to Pusha's left as he says this. The brothers are clearly fans of each other's first and foremost. The only person who missed hearing No Malice spit like this more than rap fans at a certain age was Pusha himself. No Malice points to POV, a slow tempo that finds Pusha ratcheting that disdainful, disaffected talk flow he favors sometimes to obscene levels as his favorite Terrence verse on the project, while Pusha selects FICO, a boisterous track featuring Stove God Crooks on the hook as his gene pick. But tellingly, both brothers point to the new single Ace Trumpets as their favorite song overall. The least busy beat and the least high concept conceit. Just hard 808s and hard flexes, i.e. No Malice rapping. Never leave the house without my peace like I'm Mahametha. I find pleasure in that, Push says. And just talking your stuff? Yeah, man, because I think that that's what it's all about. It's stunning, but it still shows that there's a technique and a style to it. I feel like there are these things that are missing in rap, and that's why they're so disposable, Malice adds. Stuff like this, stickiness of records, my bad, stickiness of records like that and verses like that is what keeps this going and is what keeps rap going around, good rap around. Still, it wouldn't be a Clipse album without some of the label woes nearly derailing the fun, even after the product was cooked to purity. The duo's lure, of course, was marked by the label politics that delayed the quick follow-up to their debut album, Lord Willin', forcing them to dominate the mixtape circuit with their seminal We Got It for Cheap series, while crafting Hell Hath No Fury with the chip on their shoulder. What happened to Let God Sort Him Out is less dramatic, but it's a situation with massive reverberations nonetheless. If you expected that album last summer, the brothers sympathized, so did they. Jeez. Pusha says they felt confident, proud, and assured themselves when they presented the music to Def Jam. The label loved what they heard, except for Kendrick Lamar's guest verse on the thunderous Chains and Whips, the final version of the song that Pharrell teased at his first LV runway show, and a song that Pusha says was the first to come out of their sessions. Don't be fooled by Pusha's interviews appealing for one last guest verse and Twitter jokes that he went to the G-Next tour date to physically walk Kendrick into his nearest studio. K-Dot's first homework has been turned in for a while now. But after a summer of beef between the two biggest artists that resulted in a still ongoing lawsuit from Drake, Def Jam's parent company, UMG, blanched at the antagonist optics of the two Drake's two biggest enemies linking up on wax. Pusha calls their apprehension stupid, primarily because none of Kendrick bars, otherwise excellence first, could be perceived as a shot or even subliminal. It does, however, contain the stellar line, therapy might have taught me how to open up. It also showed me that I don't give a F. Pusha can barely contain his disgust in recounting how the stalemate with Def Jam played out. They wanted me to ask Kendrick to censor his verse, which, of course, I was never doing, he explains. And then they wanted me to take the record off. And so after a month of not doing it, Steve Golly, the lawyer over there, was like, we'll drop the clips, but that can't work because I'm still there too, solo. But if you do that, you let all go. Surely enough, Def Jam eventually agreed to release the clips and drop Pusha as a solo artist, freeing the duo up to shop for a new home with the finished Clipse album and plenty of more music in their pockets. Ultimately, Pusha says the endeavor was gratifying. It felt good to even see how other labels were buying for the project. Now, as they teased last week with a picture in the front of the labels and Sinja, they ended up at Jay-Z's Rock Nation, where they feel fully supported and energized. I think that synergy, just in a rap sense, is going to speak volumes, Pusha said of the partnership. So if they're officially now doing business with Rock, and Kendrick's verse was never going to feature Pusha kept alluding to holding out for. Does this mean that we're due for another Pusha and Jay-Z collaboration? Pusha's already gotten a latter career best from Jay-Z. One can only imagine how hard Jigga would go for his first true blue Clipse collab. We've made history a couple times, Push said with a coy smirk, referring to the two elusive J features he snapped in the past. I feel like being in the business is a bigger link up than any verse. Asked if Jay patent Screwface when he heard the new music. Pusha replies, yeah, but you got that on camera already, referring to the crowd shots of Jay reacting to Chains and Whips during the LV show. Ironically, if anybody deserves a speeding ticket for antagonizing other rappers on Chains, it's Pusha, whose whole verse is not so thinly veiled response to the veteran Dipset Jim Jones. Ooh, he responded to Jimmy. He responded to Capo. Old rap alert. Old rap alert. We got the 40-plus-year-old rappers going back and forth with each other. Oh, man. Dipset rapper Jim Jones for going on to something that, what's the big deal about Pusha T around tour when doing a run of interviews on debating the top 50 MCs of all time? I personally never understood what the interviews were about, Pusha said, or why my name kept coming up. It's one thing to keep saying I'm not a top 50 MC, but it's another thing for you to say that you yourself are one. No one asked me about a top 50 nothing. After about the third interview, I promise you, I said, man, he must really want me to know what he thinks about me. And that's how my verse came. This is why I really think about him. Let's go. Talk to him. The game done got too soft. Everybody friends now. And that's why Kendrick had to do what he did, bro. To reassert, hey, this is what the game's about. We are not all friends. We are not hugging each other on the stage or for all the dogs tour. We are not doing that, Drake. We are not doing that, J. Cole. We are not doing that, 21 Savage. We are not doing that, Lil Baby. We are not doing the whole tour where in every city we bringing out a guest performer from said city, hugging them afterwards and saying, y'all give it up for my brother or for my sister. Insert artist name here. Stop that. All of y'all aren't my brothers. All of y'all aren't my sisters. I barely know y'all. I just like the song that you did. It went crazy on TikTok and the Billboard charts and we in your city, so I decided to bring you out. You're not my brother. Let's talk about it for real. This is really what I think about him, and this is what I really think about him. Every line is true in my heart. That's what we need, Push. Listen closely elsewhere on the album, and you'll find at least one other instance of Pusha letting another rapper know what he really thinks about them, sounding as menacing yet unbothered as ever. I asked No Malice, who doesn't appear to have any personal issues with anyone, what's going through his mind when he sees his younger brother get into his demon mode like this. He's being true to himself, No Malice said, uncorking to the heartiest chuckle he's let out of all day. This is who I knew him to be growing up, and it gets worse. Jones wasted no time in responding to the song's tease with his own freestyle over the beat, but this was 2 springs ago at this point. Now that the song's being released officially, if Capo has more to say, Pusha isn't sweating it, nor does he particularly impressed by the initial reply. Hey man, listen, he even said it with an evil smile. He can do whatever he wants. Ha ha ha! We got old man beef in the rap game. Let's go. Let's go, old dudes beefing. Let's turn it up, man. One for who definitely isn't getting any more Pusha's press time though, Drake. The Six God famously bowed out of their 2018 Memorial Day weekend bout. It's just as it was getting good when Pusha forever altered the perception of diss tracks by backing up his forensic evidence like a legal investigator. Drake infamously let things fizzle out before dropping an album with lines like, never a matter of what I could or what I should I. As luck would have it, I've settled into my role as the good guy. But before the events of last spring, Drake had been spending a lot of time on wax, practically begging Pusha to get back in the ring, particularly in 2023 when he made a music video wearing all of the classic Pharrell jewelry pieces that P auctioned off intentionally swagless fashion. He bragged on Travis Scott's Meltdown that he would destroy those girls without a care. That's the same verse, by the way, that he dissed Childish Gambino. claiming you love this American, but really the truth is you scattered a 6. Yeah, you scattered a 6. And he claimed that he would post up in Virginia anytime on his own on For All the Dogs album, where he taunted a rapper for going broke and refrained for empty clips. In the years that he battled, Drake has done everything to complicate the good guy image he once gamely upheld. Dogs even samples the Scarface bad guy clip. Pusha heard the taunt, and much like when I asked him a similar question 3 years ago, he could not care less. I don't like you, Drake. You are not like us, Drake. Dear Adonis. Me personally, I'm just reading. You know why? Because I was listening to Feel No Ways yesterday, and that's still one of my favorite songs ever. I think that song might be better than Just Hold On, We're Going Home. Now you're trying to make me feel away on purpose. I still like that song. I still like the verse on Big 'Em Out. Brother Long Live Bankroll. Skipping rainbow for the style self, send it straight to the pot of gold. Somebody, everybody know. She's got what they got. Yeesh. Shout out to the Vision, by the way. OVO let them go, so JD signed them to Soul Def. Shout out to Jermaine Dupri, the mayor. JD also had Suave in the studio the other day. Salute to JD once again for being tapped into the underground, knowing what's popping around the city of Atlanta. I think JD know who I was. And I was like, dang, he know who I was. Like, that junk crazy. Like, because he just keeps a post on, like, what's popping in Atlanta, what's popping around the city, what's popping, period. Shout out to Jermaine Dupri. Not only musically, but it's just like, bro, I was actually in Canada. I actually had a show and made it home. So I can't pay attention to any of that. I did the dance for real. Not to come back and to tiptoe around anything. So why would you ever engage again if he fell full tilt? Man, I will only engage again if I felt like it. And a dope boy is still alive, dope boy is still alive. And a dope boy is still alive, dope boy is still alive. I'll say this right here since I've gone all the way off the rails now. And if you got this far into it, you deserve a story time to break up from me just reading this long feature story. I seen Push perform, bro, at like an E-League event at the Tabernacle in Atlanta, maybe 2-3 years ago. I didn't get many videos from it. Like, I have like a picture from it, and that's it. And it was one of the more enjoyable performances I've seen, bro. It was a great set, heavy in Daytona, because that's what everybody knows. He leaves and he comes back, and for his encore set, was nothing but classics. It made you think, dang, I did not know this many Pusha T songs. If you go into a concert thinking that you don't know that many Pusha T's, you do. It was an amazing encore, amazing performance. We turned up. We listened to coke raps. We bottled our head. He talked back to us in the crowd like I was yelling at him, and he was responding to me, and we laughed. And he said, I want y'all to know that this is this ain't no fan. We all a family here. It was amazing, bro. Pusha T's a great performer. Go watch Pusha T live. So for the record, bait jobs like buying and wearing Neptune's pieces from the same era that Clipse thrived in aren't going to do the trick. He always said he was a fan. So I feel like that's something a fan would do. It wasn't like P was hurting for money and sold his jewelry, Pusha said in dismissive laugh, referring to Drake's chains bought in an auction. Still, however, assured Pusha feels his own battles with Drake. I've wondered, let me see you, Pusha T. Yeah, you better about spending off Blake on him. You think about pushing me. He's Terrence Sword on Terrence Crawford. Yeah, I'm whooping feet. You ain't got to get personal. This is a friendly fade. We should keep it that way. Y'all know some stuff about brothers that make Gunna want to look like a saint. Come on, man. I've wondered if it feels bittersweet to him in any way that Kendrick got the full back and forth knockout experience, whereas his way got cut short by label interference, Jay Prince weighing in, and Drake ultimately backing away. Nah, I feel like something that everything happened the way that it was supposed to happen, Pusha says. I had my own version and my own intent in everything I did during my time, and I did everything I wanted to do. There was nothing that I felt slighted about in watching anything last year. It was good to watch. I knew where it was going. I knew how it was going to play out, and it did. Earlier, when discussing Def Jam clutching their pearls over a Clipse Kendrick record, Pusha said that it reminded him too much of 2018, weighing in on Drake and Kendrick's ongoing feud, namely Drake's decision to sue UMG over releasing Not Like Us. Pusha elaborates on what he meant. I will say this, Pusha shares admitting that he's no bar-approved counselor with intimate knowledge of the suit. If Drake's adamant to have a lawsuit, it's only because he knows all of the things that they did to suppress everything that was happening around the Adion and the verse and the records and the things that were happening back then. He alludes to instances in which he says label machinations muddled, if not outright nixed the release of the verses in which Pusha taught his stuff and the people next closely affiliated to Drake, as he did on Rick Ross and Lil Wayne's Maybach Music 6, and posthumously released Pop Smoke song with Young Thug. I don't rate him anymore, Pusha said of Drake's off-whack antics. The suing thing is much bigger than some rap stuff. I just don't rate you. Dang. It's like, it just kind of cheapens the art once we gotta have real questions about suing and litigation. Like, what? For this? Pusha once rapped that he's often at the mercy of the game where the codes is missing out. As our conversation turned towards beef, disagreements, and conflicts, he seems like to want to go out of his way to reject the idea of him being a bully. The way he sees it, every heat check and headshot he's doled out has been a product of him finishing energy that others started. I've really been in Paris, making my joints, doing my stuff. When people mention me, they're really going out of their way, Pusha said. What I've done, besides wear some clothes for these past couple of years, I've been with LV. This stuff ain't coming out nowhere. Bro, I be cool with all these guys. Everybody you mentioned today, bro, I promise you, they did the underhand weird stuff. Weird stuff that you won't hear him dictate in an energy in any music anytime soon. His falling out with Kanye. While they've quite clearly gone their separate ways at this point, Pusha said the things that they were headed there in the last few months of the years of his time with Kanye were playing the industry game more than anything else. I realized at certain points I was really alone in everything that was going on as far as rap drama, so on and so forth. Push recalls, as he points to the 2021 Donda sessions in Atlanta as one of those points. I'm in a collective of a lot of individuals, everybody's working, but I really got stuff to do, and I leave in this one energy. And then when I come back, the energy's off. And then I hear about sidebar conversations. You got your homeboy who's coming up to you like, yo, they were saying this when you left. I'm thinking we all in this collectively getting busy, but in actuality, everybody's got their own agendas. And I feel like I'm the only one who didn't. My agenda was for the squad. So from that point on, I just looked at everybody completely different. I looked at it as we're going to make music, we're going to make beats, we're going to write some raps, and we're going to keep it moving. Yikes. At press time, Kanye has burned virtually every bridge and collaborative effort he's ever had, and Pusha's no accepted. It's like, bro, you've been mentioning me, screaming about me. You got every soul believing that I've done some great injustice to you. And that's a lie. He just goes on rants. One thing that I could say about him is that he knows every issue that he's having and crying about online right now. I've told him distinctly about those things, distinctly. So when he gets up there with his KKK mask and he's screaming behind it like a pro wrestler, he's got to scream behind the mask. He don't talk to me like he talks to others. Yikes. It's usually invigorating to hear Pusha talk his stuff, but there's something sad about seeing such a prolific partnership in like this. We made some great stuff, bro. We did. Pusha acknowledges. But let me tell you something. He's a genius, and his intuition is even more genius level, right? But that's why me and him don't get along, because he sees through my fakeness, because he sees my fakeness with him. He sees I don't think he's a man. He knows it. And that's why we can't build with each other no more. That's why me and him just don't click, because he knows what I really, really think about him. He showed me the weakest sides of him, and he knows how I think of weak people. More important to Pusha than the music he's made with Kanye is how Kanye handled the financial fruits of the relationship. 5 years ago, after publicly expressing his frustration with the predatory nature of the label deals in general, and the splits of his Def Jam contract in particular, He announced that he planned to give back 50% ownership stake in his masters of his own good music roster back to the artists themselves. Today, Pusha says West kept his word. The greatest thing he did, and why I'm okay with where me and him are right now, and I'm cool with saying it that way, is because at the end of the day, the truth, my truth is my truth, but I respect that what he did in business, and he speaks ill about the music we made and giving me certain records. But the one thing that he did give me was back all my profits back from the Def Jam deal. When it comes to Kanye, there's always a question of how much of his erratic behavior can be attributed to mental health issues he's openly discussed. To what degree you can truly hold his rants and screeds against him. He's sick. I do believe that much. You're sick, but you're also very calculated. And if I take your sickness, take how calculated you've been and how disruptive you've been about and try to be to me, then it cancels out. I can't look at this as you're sick because you're detrimental. You're detrimental to everything. Industry games, politics, fakes, allegiances, they all underscore how important it is to Pusha to have his brother back with them navigating the shark-infested waters. Bro, listen, that's been the biggest comfort and biggest asset to me, Pusha says, and passion. You got to understand where I'm from. We build that loyalty amongst friends. Once we lock in a crew, this is how it goes. We go together, we win together, we lose together. This is how we go. All of this other stuff was so new to me, but it got to the point where it got dangerous. And that's where I felt like I had to remove myself. You got all these different things, snaky people and all these agenda having people around, people backbiting you. Come on, man. It's been really crazy. But ultimately, the Clipse album for me was a departure and just something that I miss and just brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, bro, stuff was therapy for so many reasons. And most importantly, it's like, dang, just natural, genuine brotherhood. The plates have been cleared, and my taste reputation with the brothers remains intact. And Emilio hadn't been handling a disturbance in the kitchen. There might have been a new photo out to put on the Balato wall. Pusha and Malice are the content in the moment, but in the conversation, sounding renewed overall. It is right to say this reunion feels like a one-off more so than the start of a new run. I think that the energy is going to speak for itself, and I think that the people are going to keep calling for it, Pusha says. For once today, No Malice is the Thornton brother to flash his devilish grin, looking to the ceiling to avoid making any eye contact. I believe what he believes, No Malice says with a smile. But even if Malice is hesitant to commit formally, I thought back to something that the brother said earlier about competing in the game, even as Pusha nears 50 and his older brother stares down 53. Rap don't age out, Pusha said. As long as you're of the culture and you're in it and you're competing, you don't ever have to age out. You know what I mean? No Malice agrees. You're either something to offer or you don't. I don't think there's an age limit on this at all. Either you got it or you don't. And if the mantra and the results of Let God Sort Them Out are any indication, the Thorntons aren't lacking the competitive spirit. They're here to kill them all. Pusha nods in affirmation every single time. What a W feature, bro. Shout out to GQ, bro, for sure. Shout out to Malice, No Malice. Shout out to Lecrae for putting him on church clothes and being like, oh, snap, that's where No Malice has been. He's No Malice now. He raps about God. That's what's up. And then in the first single, he doesn't cuss. I'm surprised he cussed in this feature, but yeah, there what it is. Jonathan Joss, the voice actor of John Redcorn of King of the Hill, has passed away after being shot by a neighbor in Texas. He was 59 years old. King of the Hill voice actor was shot in San Antonio during an argument with the neighbor. San Antonio PD tells TMZ said Frigo Alvarez Seja was arrested and charged with unaliving, and the bond has been set as $200,000. Actor Jonathan Joss, best known for his work in the animated series King of the Hill, has been unalive after being shot by a neighbor in Texas, TMZ has learned. According to San Antonio Police Department and eyewitnesses, Josh got into a heated argument with his neighbor at a house in the city's south side Sunday night, leading to the bloody confrontation. Police says the unidentified neighbor without a weapon and pumped several bullets into the actor before fleeing into the vehicle. Officers responded to a call of a bling 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 in progress and received a description of a car. Cops say the officers captured the suspect a block from the residence, taking him into custody. Okay, this is crazy. Meanwhile, the paramedics rushed to the scene and provided the medical assistance, but they were unable to save the victim, who was pronounced unalive. Detectives are now talking to witnesses to figure out what triggered the violence. Josh is the voice of John Redcomb and King of the Hill. He also landed a big part in Parks and Recreation. No, it's Chief Ken. No, that's him. Oh man, see, look, I ain't watched King of the Hill, but I know this bro from Parks and Rec, bro. He will always just go there and just like make everybody feel guilty. Dang, bro. Man, rest in peace, bro. Y'all, I love Parks and Rec, bro. I watched Parks and Rec about a couple times, and I watched The Office in its entirety probably like 50 times. Bro. I ain't gonna exaggerate to you. I be knowing all the Office episodes by heart, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. It's like the one show that I do binge all the time. That in Atlanta, bro. Detectives are now talking to witnesses to figure out what happened, what triggered the violence. John was the voice of John Redcon and King of the Hill, and he also landed a big part in Parks and Recreation as Chief Ken Holtite, and he had small roles in TV shows such as Social King, Ray Donovan, and films like True Grit and The Magnificent Seven. Josh was 59. Rest in peace. Crazy, bro. And here it is, more information. Oh, it doesn't exist anymore. They deleted it. But the rumor is it was a hate crime because Josh is gay. That was the rumor. They took my brother away from me, man, Jonathan Joss, aka John Redcone. I love you, brother, until we see you again. Hold on, I gotta stop this and then reshare it. Hold on, give me a second. Stop this and reshare it. Oh, it's still not even going. I wonder why. Hold on, let me see. I'm trying to get the audio to work because the audio is not working. Okay.
We partying here?
Hell yeah.
What can we say? Tequila, tequila, tequila. Salute.
Dang.
Thank you.
Right on.
Salute to brother, man. He seemed like a good dude, bro. Shout out to bro, man. But yeah, there is that. So now the final thing of the night. Job Corps has shut down. Absolutely devastating. Clearsfield Job Corps training program among 99 to be shuttered. This is from KSL.com. This was written by Tim Vandernack of KSL.com. Clearfield. On hearing the news that the federal Job Corps program in Clearsfield will be one of nearly 100 around the country shutting its doors, Adrian Asindo's reaction was intense and immediate. I was crying for about 3 hours because when I heard it, it hurts. Asindo, studying the automotive repair, said Friday, day after the U.S. Department of Labor announced this decision. It hurts me because we're all scared, not knowing of what we're going to do. The Department of Labor announced on Thursday that it was shuttering 99 contractor operated Job Corps centers around the United States. The agency characterized the program as flawed and said that all 99 of the operators would have to shut its doors at the end of June. Those students will have to leave sooner. The Clearfield Job Corps Center, which sits on the 70-acre campus adjacent to the Freeport Warehousing and Distribution Center, opened nearly 6 decades ago in 1966 and typically serves 800 to 1,000 tenants to young adults at any given time. I'm sorry, I'm getting tired now. Providing vocational training in a range of subjects. Job Corps was created to help young adults build a pathway to a better life through education, training, and community. Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeRemer said in a statement. However, a startling number of serious incident reports And our in-depth fiscal analysis revealed the program is no longer achieving the intended outcomes that students deserve. The decision focused on speculation for weeks as the Trump administration presses spending cuts means an abrupt ending to the job training for Ascendo, hundreds of other Clearfield students, and 25,000 and all around the country. Hold on, let me say it. All around the country have received. Indeed, federal officials dim view of program notwithstanding the backers of Clearsfield are limiting the move. It's devastating, absolutely devastating, said Clearfield Mayor Mark Shepard, who is familiar with the program and its students. You've got kids that are in internships right now that won't be able to finish out those internships. He said auto dealerships, Davis Technical College, among other entities, collaborated with Clearfield Job Corps and provided internships and educational programming for Job Corps students. Students participating in the Davis program are being hired by Lockheed Martin and other aerospace companies because they are skilled now in composite work. Shepard said those getting vocational certificates are coming out and life sustaining, family sustaining jobs in many cases. There's great things that they are doing. Clearsfield Job Corps program is operated by Management and Training Corps, and the private contractor also bemoaned Thursday's decision. Excuse me, guys. I'm out of it right now. The closure of Job Corps represents not just a loss of educational opportunity, but also a loss of hope who rely on this program to break the cycle of poverty and achieve career success, the contractor said in a statement. Management and Training Corps has operated the Clearfield program since 1981 and runs 15 others around the country. The Clearfield Job Corps employs around 350 people whose future is also thrown into question. We don't get to finish what we started. Job Corps programs offer vocational training in healthcare, auto repair, construction, and other fields, serving those that are 16 to 24, typically lowering from the lower income backgrounds, some having graduated from high school, excuse me, others with disabilities, and some contend with homelessness. I love it, said a send from West Jordan. The program has its ups and downs, but we still work through it. Wayne Somerset, a student from Houston, Texas, had been studying cybersecurity. My reaction was very, very disappointment. It's a bummer we don't get to finish what we started. One of the best things about the Job Corps program, he said, was the support students got from instructors, counselors, and many others. Now that I got to motivate myself, figure this thing out, said Somerset, who may now seek other programming for professional certifications. Jaden Watley, who's from Dallas, had been studying plumbing, and he said he gets to go back to Texas and look to work in the field. As long as you stay positive and keep a positive outlook on things, I really don't think these gripes or comments or concerns. He said, with what he's learned in his 18 months at Clearsfield, he said that he will go far in life. In shuttering the program, the Department of Labor and Job Corps program registered $140 million debuted in 2024. The figure is expected to meet 213 million in 2025. The department, while saying that it's evaluating the program's possibilities, also reported some of the findings in the April 25th transparency report. The program's average graduation is 38.6%. Average cost of student per year is 80,284 and a 65 cents. And the average of annual salary program for participants is $16,000. The management and training course said, geez, Louise, this is it? All right, this is it. The management and training course statement said that the federal report painted a distorted picture. I can barely see from here. I'm not gonna lie. The 38.6% graduation rate surpasses 31% rate for 2-year colleges and surpassed 60% before the COVID pandemic. Moreover, the contractor said Job Corps graduate earned a median wage of $31,000 in 2024, exceeding federal goals. Job Corps has been long hindered by the excessive regulations and the fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic. These external challenges have exacerbated enrollment declines and operational hurdles, yet the program has continued to provide vital services to youth in need, said the Management and Training Corps. Operators in the Clearfield program are helping students and staff plan for their next steps. Those students are supposed to be gone by June 6th. The Utah Department of Workforce Services will offer help to Job Corps students, staff, and department spokeswoman Christine Davis. This is a picture. All right. I was trying to see. All right, but there it is. There it is, man. That is the stream for tonight. I'm still working on the big video. Y'all make sure y'all check it out when it's time to. And I appreciate you all. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. Have a good night. And if no one else told you today, I care for you. Peace. See you tomorrow. Sayonara. Adios.
That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but.
Enjoy Rashad Milligan rolling out.
We can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.